Hello, online arts community. Welcome to Fleetwood-Jourdain Theater Stay Creative in collaboration with Pivot Theater Workshop, a journey through the history of Black theater, a series with me, Professor Bria Walker. Today's video will be me sharing stories submitted by you, our viewers, on your experiences with Black theater history. Our first story is from retired professor of theater, Harvey Johnson. In the fall of 1971, fresh out of Kent State University with a BFA in acting, I began a 2.5-year journey in one of the hallmarks of Black theater, Caramoo House and Theater in Cleveland, Ohio. I accepted a grant from the Ohio Arts Council to study theater management. Little did I know, I was stepping into an amazing history of artistry and people that has placed Caramoo in the annals of Black theater. Time will not permit me to go into the depth of my experience, but in the time available, allow me to share some of its remarkable highlights. Moving to the Huff area of Cleveland, I lived a 5-block walk from the complex, and a complex it is. Taking up a half-city block, the facility houses 2 theaters, arena, and a proscenium, 2 art galleries, a second floor of art studios, offices, rehearsal spaces, and a daycare. My assignment was theater management intern, and here I made my first notable connection. I served under the theater manager who was Earl Billings. Earl Billings is a successful actor in television and movies, best known as Rob in the television series What's Happening. He has appeared in television and films such as Antoine Fisher, American Splendor, and Something New. He, in my first year of acclimating me to the job of a theater manager, made me aware of the history of Caramoo House. I learned of Russell and Rowena Jelliff, 2 social workers of Jewish ethnicity who, after establishing themselves under the auspices of the Playhouse Settlement in the 1920s, began a campaign that resulted in the building of the present facility. Through their work, they had made a connection with several Black artists who were a part of the Harlem Renaissance, most notable, Langston Hughes. Growing up in Cleveland, Hughes connected with the classes and workshops conducted in the Playhouse Settlement and created an association with the Jelliffs that lasted for years and resulted in his poetry and plays being produced and performed. As an intern and acting theater manager in my second year, my work, which included acting on the Caramoo stages, allowed me to work with those that have placed this institution as a forerunner of what we know as Black theater today. Artists such as Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis, Debbie Allen, Bill Cobbs, Billy D. Williams, Margaret Ford Taylor, Dorothy and Reuben Silver, and Sarah May, to name a few. Thank you, Harvey, for sharing your story. What an amazing experience it was for you to be a part of the oldest African-American theater company in the United States. Experiences like yours and the telling of your story is what is so important in regard to legacy and the passing down of knowledge. Fleetwood-Jourdain Theater thanks you for this. To our viewers, Caramoo means a place of joyful meeting in Swahili. Caramoo House and Theater is featured in the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture and is listed on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places. Again, thank you, Harvey, for your willingness to share your story. Next up, we have a story from graduate student and writer Lester Mayers. Working on my alma mater's production of For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough by Ntozake Shange has changed my life forever. I mean every word in the phrase, changed my life forever. Being on both the assistant director's side and the dramaturgy team gave me a sense of not only how the work is so relevant in contemporary times, but also how specific in details it is as a history lesson. It was not only one of the first plays to capture my heart because of its original rhythmic poetry loaded with substance, it was also the first play to cross my lap that put Black women and Black women experiences in the center in real time, without being tampered with and editorialized for the likes of Broadway. The communal original experiences of having lived in the world showed up in rehearsals, performances, and production meetings. The biggest lesson I have learned from Ntozake Shange during the process of the production was to believe in my gifts as a writer and a creator. I watched the strong women on stage recite and live in the words every night. I watched the audience react in many ways that invited healing over them. I knew before the show opened that everyone who came to see the show, regardless of hue, spiritual beliefs, etc., would be moved spiritually. I knew this because her words weren't tampered with, despite the time of its written origin. The same strength she used to write through suicide and different traumas of life was alive and existing on the page. The way the experiences of Black womanhood were freely written, without the white gaze or male gaze, and in the many Black vernaculars, liberated me so much. It freed me so deep that I went on to write a piece of which that stands on the shoulders of all of Ntozake Shange's work. Because of her and the leadership and watching truth being written down and still relevant decades later, my book of poetry called African Booty Scratcher, Loving an Ashy Black Fat Child with Yellow Teeth, Peasy Head, and a Broken Smile, exists proudly. Thank you for your story, Lester. Miss Shange's words have touched so many lives, and it is wonderful to hear a first-person account of how much of an impact she made on your life. Again, thank you. For those of you out there who want to know more about Ntozake Shange and her award-winning show, take a look at my previous lecture on her and her work. You can view it on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. Viewers, keep sending us your stories. We would love to share them with our audience. Email them to us at fjtheater@cityofevanston.org by Friday, May 1st by 12 p.m. Keep your submissions to 400 words or less. And if you have any pictures that you'd like to share, send them our way as well. Remember, by submitting your work, you grant Fleetwood-Jourdain Theater the right to review and share your submission via video and on our social media platforms for the Stay Creative series. We can't wait to receive your stories. Be sure to join us Wednesday as we explore the dynamic comedy duo of Bert Williams and George Walker.